Hello and welcome. You're watching News Central Television. It's time for News Now. I am Judith TV. Here are the top stories at this hour. Sokoto bombing. Villagers reject military's justification for civilian casualties in Sokoto bombing. Alleged immorality. Kano State Government shuts a tomato market over alleged prostitution, adultery. Senegalese Prime Minister Sonko unveils 5-year transformation plan. Details shortly. Let's begin by telling you that Nigeria's Defense Headquarters has dismissed claims of a misfire by Air Force jets attacking several communities in Sokoto State following offensive operations against terrorist group Lakurawa. The director of the Defense Media Operations, while speaking to newsmen in Abuja, says that air operation targeted logistics hub of the terrorists, neutralizing several of them, while others fled in a bid to escape the onslaught of troops stationed on the ground. Amadin Uyi reports.
It was a briefing to clear the air on the recent allegations that military airstrikes had killed several members of some communities in Sokoto State, a situation that has sparked nationwide criticism. The director of the Defense Media Operation says that the reports are false and do not paint the true picture of the situation.
The airstrike indeed hit logistic base of the terrorists, which led to secondary explosions, and it was these secondary explosions that led to some casualties that was earlier reported. The neutralized Lakurawa terrorist combatants were burnt, indeed, beyond recognition, because they were hit directly by the strikes.
He says that intelligence by the military was duly carried out and confirmed by locals within the community.
Locals confirmed that the Lakurawa terrorists stayed in the village and used the general area as a staging area for the conduct of their operations. Also, intelligence surveillance and reconnaissance, as well as human intelligence reports prior to the operation, consistently indicated the hideout was a high concentration terrorist location. The airstrike, at the end of the day, had minor impact on the surrounding villages.
He also urged citizens not to panic over the recent reports of a drone attack on a military base in the northeast, saying that drones were not military grade and did not achieve any objective.
The use of drones in the battlefield is not new. Now, when we are talking of drones now, please, we don't want unnecessary panic, because these are not professional drones, not military-graded drones. These are toys that they went to buy and found a way to put one or two things on board and use them. How effective were they? They were not effective. Are we doing something about it? Yes, we are. I don't call them really attacks, I call them harassment, because those are harassments.
General Buba also dismissed the allegations of the establishment of a foreign base in Nigeria, saying that they are mischievous and false. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadin Uyi.
Residents of agrarian community in Sokoto State have rejected claims by the military that those affected were terrorists following airstrikes on Christmas Day that killed at least 10 people in the Gidan, Sama, and Runtuwa communities of Sileme local government area. Reports suggest the fighter jet was targeting Lakurawa terrorists but inadvertently struck civilians, livestock, food silos, and homes. The Nigerian Air Force has pledged a thorough investigation into the incident. NAV spokesperson Air Vice Marshal Olushola Akimboyewa defended the strikes, citing credible intelligence and confirmatory aerial surveillance. His remarks were echoed by Lieutenant Colonel Abubakar Abdullahi, coordinator of the Joint Media Coordination Center, who emphasized that the operation was based on extensive reconnaissance. The airstrikes have sparked criticism, with residents rejecting the military's justification for the attack. The Nigerian Police have cautioned against the misuse of the name and office of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, by unscrupulous officers engaging in fraudulent activities. In a statement issued on Saturday, Force Public Relations Officer Muyiwa Adejobi expressed concern over the actions of certain officers whose misconduct tarnishes the reputation of the police forces and undermines public trust. Adejobi said despite repeated warnings and disciplinary measures against those caught, some officers continue to engage in disgraceful acts that erode confidence in the force. He also urged the public to remain vigilant, highlighting that these rogue officers often attempt to intimidate their victims by falsely claiming that the Inspector General is aware of and approves their illegal activities. The Kano State Government has ordered the indefinite closure of the Kano Gafan Tomato Market following allegations of immoral activities, including prostitution, adultery, and homosexuality. The decision was taken in response to reports of illegal activities occurring within and around the market premises. The chairman of the Guran Malam local government area council, Aminu Kadawa, confirmed the development, stressing the importance of restoring order in the area. He announced that all occupants must vacate the premises by 1st January 2025 or face strict consequences. Reacting to the closure, the State Commissioner of Police Representative S.A. Gusso assured residents that security forces would ensure full compliance with the evacuation directive. Niger's President Abdourahmane Tchiani is facing widespread criticism at home following allegations of a Nigerian conspiracy against his country. In a Christmas Day interview, the president claimed that Nigeria has provided a base for French soldiers near Lake Chad and established terrorist training camps in Sokoto, Zamfara, and Kebbi states, allegedly to destabilize Niger. The Nigerian government, has dismissed the accusations as baseless, with National Security Advisor Nuhu Rubadu and Presidential Advisor Daniel Bawra both refuting the claims. Nigerians have taken to social media to reject the leader's assertions, questioning their credibility. Many view the allegations as a disciplinary tactic to deflect blame for his administration's failure 17 months after he ousted his predecessor, Mohamed Bazoum, in a palace coup. Let's go on a short break. When we return, Nigeria-China renew currency swap agreement. Shortly after this, stay with us. And welcome back. Nigeria and China have renewed their 15 billion yuan currency swap agreement to bolster bilateral trade and investment. The People's Bank of China confirmed that the agreement will remain valid for 3 years with an option for renewal by mutual consent. Initially signed in June 2018, the agreement facilitates direct exchange between the Chinese yuan and the Nigerian naira, bypassing the US dollar to lower transaction costs. It aims to address liquidity challenges, provide financial support for businesses, and enable smoother trade transactions between the two countries. The deal also allows for bi-weekly auctions to inject liquidity into the financial systems for both nations, promoting trade and investment while reducing dependency on the dollar. This renewal underscores the strengthening economic ties between China and Nigeria. Traditional leaders in the southwest have warned that introducing Sharia law in the region could lead to division, instability, and anarchy. Their concerns stem from the circulation of a flyer announcing the inauguration of a Sharia court in Oyo scheduled for 11th of January 2025. The proposal has sparked widespread criticism, with traditional leaders and stakeholders opposing its implementation, citing the Southwest multi-religious composition. Prominent figures, including the Are Ona Kakafo of Yoruba land, Gani Adams, and the Olugbun of Orile Igbo, as well as Oba Francis Alao, have argued that Sharia law is incompatible with the region's cultural and religious diversity. Governor Seyi Makinde has acknowledged the controversy, pledging to uphold Nigeria's constitution. Meanwhile, we understand that the organizers of the event have indefinitely postponed the inauguration amidst escalating tensions. Governor Caleb Muftwang of Plateau State has revealed that the security situation in the Plateau has improved in recent months. The governor, after a visit to President Bola Tinubu in Lagos State, commended the efforts of federal government in trying to restore peace, saying that the recent Christmas holidays have not witnessed any attacks on communities, especially when compared to the same period in 2023.
Things are getting better. Security-wise, certainly we are better off this year than we were last year. Apart from the fact that the security forces on ground are doing their best, we have also invested a lot in technology. We have been able to do a lot of mobilization of communities. And so there is a lot of consciousness, that has kept people aware. And it hasn't been 100%. There have been a few incidences here and there. But on the whole, I can tell you that things are getting better. Well, with the support of Mr. President, I can assure you that we're not going to take our foot off the pedal. We're going to make sure that we cross the T's, dot the I's as far as security is concerned, and make sure that we make it more difficult for criminality to take place within our borders.
And now to the energy sector. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, NNPCL, has confirmed a downward review in the price of premium motor spirits, commonly known as petrol. Now, this move comes as part of ongoing efforts to reduce the economic burden on citizens amid rising living costs. Previously, the product sold for more than 1,030 naira per litre in Lagos and the surrounding area, while in Abuja and the northern regions, it cost more than 1,060 naira per litre. News Central's Bettina Unweli reports the accuracy of this reduction in some fuel stations as citizens react. Take a look.
Reports from major cities, including Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt, indicate that the adjustment has already taken effect at filling stations. Long queues, witnessed in recent months, are beginning to ease as citizens express relief at this development.
I drive almost every day to work, and by the time you buy, before now, you buy 1,025 naira, and just to go to the island and back, you are already talking about 20,000 naira fuel, But I believe that with this reduction, at least one can be able to save a bit. Because before now, sometimes I don't even drive to work. I just have to park the car, But now, at least with this reduction, one can say, okay. But we still expect more reduction. We still expect that there should, at least this competitiveness in fuel in prices, it should come down. It can still come down. We're all producing nation. It can still come down.
Before, with 20,000 naira, you can just buy like 17 liters of fuel. But last time I bought 20,000 naira, I have 22 liters. Now I'm going to buy 15,000 naira, I think I'll have like 17 liters also, which is quite, not that the direction, but it's reasonable. But across now, the other position, they are selling 107. Total are selling 107.
While some stations are still operating at the previous price, some citizens feel there is a need for further reductions for the impact to be felt.
If they are ready to drop the price of fuel, at least down to 500, it's okay. But in that case, that kobo of a year, 2 kobo or something is insignificant. It doesn't affect our business. So it's just yours as business as usual. You cannot drop the price because it doesn't have any effect. So we want to beg the government to help us, at least at this time now, where the transport is being so high, everything is skyrocketed. They need to help us drop the price of fuel, at least to 500. We appreciate it.
Truly, I read it on a paper that there's going to be a reduction. Meanwhile, all the dealers of petrol are yet to comply with the new price stated inside the paper. In lieu of that, I hereby regard that it's a paper talk until it comes to manifestation, where we are buying it at the low price.
The government has reiterated its commitment to maintaining a stable supply of petroleum products and addressing other economic challenges facing the nation. However, experts have cautioned that long-term solutions such as investment in local refineries remain crucial for sustainable growth. In Lagos, for News Central, I am Bettina Nwili.
Away from that, economic activities are yet to fully resume at the Federal Secretariat complex in Abuja following 2 days of public holiday by the federal government to citizens for the Christmas festivities. A visit to the Secretariat complex found many offices closed or locked, the area lacking its usual flurry of activities as many workers failed to resume to their duty post. Our correspondent Idong Joseph has more on this story.
The Federal Secretariat, one of the busiest workplaces for civil servants in the capital, Abuja, has witnessed a much slower than usual bustle of activities as many workers fail to resume on the first official day of resumption after the Christmas festivities. Some sources here at the Secretariat say that workers took advantage of the holiday to extend their break, while others delayed their resumption due to the non-payment of their December salaries, contributing to the low turnout.
According to some of the civil servants, they complain that they have not collected they have not received their salary. I think that was what kept some of them not to come to work.
This is a festive period, okay, and many people must have traveled or some are home, they've taken their leave to relax because of the Yuletide period, because they are expecting low activities in the office. There's secondly maybe for financial reason, and some people maybe as a result of bank, of recent there have been some little challenges from the bank and they have not collected their salary.
Meanwhile, business owners around here have also felt the sting of a slow recovery, which some say has made business slow.
In the time where they didn't work very well, as my business they approve well. This time around, bros, it's sweet.
We are here because of people patronize the business. Since there is no people in the premises, how do you expect the business to move?
Some of them also expressed optimism that sales will pick up in the coming days as more people return to work and settle back into their regular routines.
Today is another day, and we still believe tomorrow is another day as usual. If we cannot make it today, we believe when tomorrow we can get what we want.
Next week, if you come out, because you no go sit down house, you want to chop. Next week, say na New Year. So this secretariat will be like this again.
As citizens enter the final days of the year, many are hoping that the new year will be better than the last. However, for those around the Federal Secretariat complex, they are waiting to return to its usual bustle of activities. In Abuja for News Central, I am Idong Joseph.
Since assuming office in 2023, the current administration under President Bola Tinubu has embarked on several key infrastructure projects focusing on transportation, housing, and urban development. News Central's Joshua Imarayi takes a look at some of these projects and their potential impact in continuation of our sectoral overview of in 2024. Take a look.
Since assuming office, President Bola Tinubu has outlined an ambitious plan for infrastructural development across Nigeria, with a focus on transforming transportation, housing, and urban planning, his government has rolled out several key projects aimed at addressing the country's long-standing infrastructural challenges. One of the most prominent has been the rehabilitation and relaunch of the Abuja Light Rail, a project designed to alleviate traffic congestion and offer a more efficient public transportation system in the nation's capital.
The Abuja Metro was inherited by my administration from my predecessor. It was first commissioned in 2018 for public use, but this is not to be. COVID-19 struck. The train service was abandoned, vandalized then, disused and abused.
The Abuja Light Rail is now fully operational, and the president has announced free rides for Nigerians during the festive period. Another major undertaking which has generated diverse reaction has been the commencement of the construction of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road project. This promises to link vital southern cities, enhance trade, and increase access to critical ports. However, the project has faced significant delays and raised concerns about its environmental impact and expected funding, sparking debates about its long-term feasibility.
We instituted an action in the Federal High Court challenging the award of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, the process for award of the contract. We expect the courts to essentially examine our case. What we are saying is that due process was not followed. This is a multi-trillion contract. There was no competitive bidding. It was awarded on a single source basis. We feel that this is in contravention of the Public Procurement Act as well as the Environmental Impact Assessment Act.
President Tinubu also launched a renewed Hope Housing project aimed at tackling Nigeria's massive housing deficit. The initiative seeks to provide millions of Nigerians with access to affordable housing, offering solutions to urbanization challenges while promising to improve the living standards of citizens across the country.
We know the value of housing. We appreciate the fact that it is an elixir for economic prosperity, job creation, hopefulness.
However, issues surrounding affordability, transparency in distribution, and the actual number of homes being constructed remain points of contention. While the government pushes ahead with this project, recent events have cast a shadow on the nation's infrastructure management practices. The collapse of the Alo Dam in Borno State sparked calls for more accountability and better maintenance standards in the management of infrastructure, especially national ones.
The preparation of this report was conducted in collaboration with the National Committee for the Assessment of the Integrity of all Dams in Nigeria. We collected extensive data, conducted interviews, reviewed maintenance records, and examined the dam design and construction.
In addition to this high-profile project, the Federal Capital Territory has seen considerable road development. Under President Tinubu's administration, the FCT minister has overseen the construction of new roads, bridges, and other initiatives aimed at addressing traffic congestion and improving Abuja's overall infrastructure.
Infrastructure is key. It is the basis for development. Before you can start thinking about doing something else, number one, you need good roads to be able to move around. You need good roads to move around. Before, if you have issues, security issues, security men need good road to be able to get to you quickly. Even if you have health issue, you need good road to be able to get to, for people to be able to take you to a hospital.
However, as promising that these projects are, they are not without their challenges.
People are suffering. The president is having sleepless night how to help the people. And then we give people jobs and they are telling us stories. There have been jobs awarded by this ministry in the past, money paid. Then the contractors help the money. Oh, there is insecurity.
From environmental concerns and land acquisition disputes to questions surrounding the sustainability and maintenance of key projects, there's still much work to be done. In Abuja for News Central, I am Joshua Imarayi.
Joshua Marai there with that report on infrastructural development for 2024. You're watching news now on News Central Television. We're going on a short break. When we come back, there's more. Stay here. Welcome back. Minister Ousmane Sonko, that's Senegalese Prime Minister, has presented his 5-year plan to Parliament, aiming to steer the nation out of 3 years of economic and political turmoil. In his address, Sonko emphasized the need for a profound and unprecedented transformation, saying government must undertake a deep and unparalleled break, unlike anything seen in the country's history since independence from France. He criticized Senegal's continued reliance on a colonial economic model and pledged an overhaul of public administration and tax policies to promote homegrown growth. Sonko also highlighted plans to tap into long-anticipated natural gas reserves, with production expected to begin next year. This, he said, would help position Senegal as one of the most competitive countries in Africa.
Le Sénégalais a voté de façon nette et massive pour le projet de Sénégal souverain, juste et prospère. Pour bâtir ce Sénégal du projet, il est impératif d'opérer une rupture d'une profondeur et d'une portée jamais vue dans notre pays. Jamais vue depuis notre accession à l'indépendance il y a 64 ans.
Food shortages and long queues have emerged in Maputo as Mozambique's capital grapples with the aftermath of post-election violence. Looting and vandalism erupted after the ruling party was declared victorious in contested elections, leaving food, fuel, and medicine in critically short supply. Tensions have been further heightened by the daring escape of over 1,000 inmates from a maximum security prison, sparking unverified rumors of armed men roaming residential neighborhoods. Some residents have reported patrolling their streets out of fear, although no attacks have been confirmed. Meanwhile, Mozambican researcher Borges Nimire has said that while no verified reports of violence have emerged, comments by the police chief about detainees visiting houses have deepened public anxiety, fueling speculation over the government's handling of the case.
Normalmente a gente consegue comprar fora do básico. Aqui a ideia é só comprar o básico e, em vez de comprar um saco, comprar 2, 3, para aqui o que pode vir. Porque temos expectativas de que a coisa pode não melhorar, contudo, não deu para comprar o que de norma consigo comprar. Então essa foi a razão.
Não, porque a padaria, conforme vê, está cheia. Há uma bicha ali enorme e está difícil fazer a compra, seja para qualquer produto. Nestes últimos tempos, nos últimos dias, tem sido extremamente difícil. Por isso é que acabei levando mesmo aqui. Olha que eu sou residente mesmo em frente à padaria. Mas não tive uma outra alternativa e para facilitar o meu processo e a minha disponibilidade, saiu mais fácil comprar logo aqui ao lado.
Eu acho que o básico.
Apesar da demora, prontos, valeu a espera.
China's Foreign Minister Yang Yi has expressed deep concern over the situation in Syria following the ousting of President Bashar al-Assad by Islamist rebels. During a 2-day strategic dialogue in Beijing with Egyptian Foreign Minister Abdourahmane, Wang called for respect for Syria's sovereignty and urged efforts to prevent terrorist forces from exploiting the ongoing chaos. Beijing had established strong ties with Assad's regime, with the former Syrian leader visiting China last year to forge a strategic partnership. The collapse of Assad's government marks the end of decades of repressive rule and nearly 14 years of civil war, which claimed over 500,000 lives and displaced millions. Wang also addressed the ongoing Gaza conflict, reiterating the importance of peace and stability in the Middle East.
当前叙利亚局势深感担忧，呼吁尊重叙利亚的主权、独立
Let's go on a short break. When we come back, there's more. Stay with us. And welcome back. And we return to the military airstrike story. And joining us to provide legal insight is Justice Ejono. He's a legal practitioner and human rights activist, and he joins us from Lagos to discuss the options available to the affected communities who allegedly lost loved ones in the incident. Justice, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, you are a legal practitioner, right? So I have to ask you about, what legal avenues are available to the affected communities to press for justice and compensation, as they're alleging that their loved ones were those that were affected with this airstrike.
Okay, for me, I think that the first option that a lawyer should always advise is for them to approach the authorities and see how they can explore out-of-court settlement. But if that has been tried and it looks like none of the parties are shifting grounds, the major option is for them to, they can either approach civil courts approach civil courts through the route of negligence, or also they can seek to enforce the fundamental human rights of the persons who have been wrongfully killed, if that is firmly established. And I feel that in most cases, what will happen is usually that the court will grant decisions in the favor of the persons whose loved ones have been wrongfully killed. But one major challenge I have with that route is the fact that there is a particular section 84 of the Sheriffs and Civil Processes Law that gives the Attorney General the discretion to be able to release a particular judgment. That, for example, if they go to court and they get for 100 million, there is still a discretion in the Attorney General of the Federation to be able to actually choose whether he wants to release that money or not. And I feel that that's one part of the law that is still being exploited by the authorities in Nigeria, to the point where a lot of people just get what I call in law Pyrrhic victory. They get judgments that they cannot enforce. The judge orders 1 billion naira, they cannot receive it. So I feel that that particular section 84 of the Sheriffs and Civil Processes Act should be abolished with the quickest dispatch, in order that we should be able to confidently say that anybody that is suing the government in whatever capacity will be able to enjoy the fruits of their labor, and also for it to deter government authorities and agencies from taking laws seriously into their hands. Even though in this case, I feel that is also, I must balance it out by saying that it's we may call it an innocent mistake on the part of the Nigerian Air Force, but whatever it is, since the mistake has been made, there should be compensation, and we shouldn't have a situation where the Air Force is sticking to its grounds and sticking to its own wings, that they didn't commit wrong, they didn't do wrong to any Nigerian.
Right. I mean, the Air Force have said that, and all military and everyone has said that, oh, this was Lakurawa, they had credible intelligence, and they went in and they did what they were supposed to do, and there was also a team on ground. Sounds like something out of the movies, But also, there's now been talks of independent investigation. The Air Force said they would investigate. The military said they will investigate, and the federal government has said they would also carry out their own independent investigation. Is there a chance of is there a realistic chance of transparency? That's the word. In making sure that and there's fairness that in this pledged independent investigation.
Okay. When we say independent investigation, we usually pursuant to Section 36 of our Constitution, we usually talk about the fact that somebody should not be a judge in his own cause. So when the Air Force or the Nigerian military are saying they want to conduct an independent investigation in court, it leaves a lot of room for suspicion. We feel that as much as possible, maybe a retired justice of the Supreme Court, at least the ones that have solid credibility, I will, if I may have to drop names, Justice Amina Algi, for example, can be summoned from her retirement to come and help the Nigerian people unravel what exactly happened in this situation. I will have more credibility. I will give more credibility to such a tribunal, and I think that generally Nigerians will give much more credibility to such a tribunal than any tribunal that is set up by the Air Force or the Army or the Nigerian federal government generally in this kind of situation. And I feel that we must also be reminded that it is any tribunal or the judiciary generally.
We seem to have lost Justice there. Justice Adriano there is a legal practitioner. I think we lost him there. Visuals you're seeing there is from the bombing at Sokoto. Although we know that the airstrikes, as you can see, that's aside. The Air Force have said that the airstrike was targeted to terrorists from Lakurawa. The Lakurawa terrorists that were settled across, and the town seemed to be bordered to Niger. But residents of that town are now saying that those who were affected in the airstrike were their loved ones. They were members of the community and they had done nothing. And they didn't deserve that. Now, Justice earlier was talking about basically the pledged independent investigation and whether or not it will be transparent and fair. For us to bring you sports, Abuja-based Primal Sporting FC carted away with 50 million naira prize of the maiden Lagos Liga football tournament after beating Abu FC 9-8 on penalties in a thrilling final at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena on Friday. The Lagos Liga adopted the video assistant referee, and there was a nerve-wracking moment in the final as the VAR overturned a penalty appeal by Abu to a free kick in extra time. Now, both sides converted their first 8 kicks during the shootout, but it was Primal Sporting goalkeeper who made the difference with a save on the 9th kick of their opponents to win the game 9-8. To advance to the final of the winner takes all tournament, Primal Sporting and Abu FC eliminated 30 BG FC and Tacha FC in the last 4 with a similar 3-0 thrashing.
It was a very challenging performance because this was the first time we are coming from behind. And our keeper kept us in the game, but it was the overall team performance, and we are very proud of it. We've been here for 3 weeks. We came from Abuja. It's a new environment for us. We didn't know what to expect, but it was a very fruitful journey for us, and it ended with the trophy.
I'm super proud of the boys. The boys did way beyond expectation. Unfortunately, we didn't get to hold on to the trophy, but I must say I'm super proud of their outing and their performance.
Well, we started very slow from the first game, but we gradually gathered momentum from our second and third game. But from the quarterfinals, we hit top gear, and you can see the end result. We won the tournament. Well, two things influenced our changes. Because during the course of the game, we noticed we needed somebody that could take the ball, push the ball up forward. So that was why Precious came in, and he was the one that eventually got the goal. The major problem we're going to face is most of these players might not be here for the next Lagos Liga. They might move on professionally. So, but we still build up, and we come back stronger, and I think we can defend the title.
So much for 30 GB and still didn't win 30 BG FC, and you didn't win 50 million? Anyway, that's all at this hour. Before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. Military's justification for civilian casualties in Sokoto bombing. The Kano State Government has shut down a tomato market over alleged prostitution and adultery. And we headed off to Senegal, where its Prime Minister, Ousmane Sonko, has unveiled a 5-year transformation plan. Now, remember that you can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422. You can also find us on Star Times channel 274, where Avo TV, or better yet, you can stream us live on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Judith at TV. Bye for now.